The Hawks are 6-1, and Luke Fickle, welcome to Iowa football.
Welcome to the Big Ten, mother bleep. Dude, it's so sick. So awesome. What a game. That's a Iowa-Wisconsin gritty game. I was back in Wisconsin watching that game in Oconomowoc with my one of my best friends from grade school. It was his engagement party. And then with one of, I think it was his wife, his soon-to-be wife's sister's husband. And we all were like, oh, dude, it was awesome. I thought I was going to jump through the ceiling.
Were they all Wisconsin fans?
No. They all cheered for Iowa with me. It was awesome.
There we go. Hey, their heart's in the right place, man. It's so funny how Luke Fickle's welcome to the Big Ten moment had to be against Iowa. He thought he could come out air raid. They complete one deep ball to start the game, and next thing you know, bang, fourth down. Not today. It's the Big Ten West.
Do you know what's funny is, so my friends, they do this every time. They talk crazy shit about Wisconsin beating Iowa. I talk crazy shit about it too. We go into the game, we beat them, and they try and pull this, hey, GG's, that was a good game, man. And then I call them and say, fuck that. I'm not being friends with you guys over this. Oh, you guys, yeah, good game, man. Like trying to be, yeah, fuck you. We beat you. Wisconsin sucks. You guys can go cheer for Wisconsin somewhere else because they're trash. And I'm not. If Iowa beat Wisconsin, I wouldn't say, hey, good game. Like it's a rivalry game. That's the whole point of it. You don't say, hey, good game. You say good game to me, I say, fuck you, we just beat your ass all day. I love it.
You know what happened our first Wisconsin game that we ever saw in Kinnick? Somebody got punched out and went to the hospital. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, this is no friendly rivalry, man. You don't say GGs. There was no GGs. We beat your ass. And it wasn't a beat your ass like 40-7. We physically beat their ass 14, or was it 15-6?
15-6.
And the fact that they didn't score a touchdown.
2 field goals, a safety, in a long run by LaShawn Williams. What a stud he is.
You look at that score and you see, okay, there's 3 touchdowns total. Something weird happened on the 15 end. And then you realize it's Iowa, Wisconsin. You realize it's only 1 touchdown. That's grit, baby.
It's a boring
game. It's a boring game to watch. But
for the sickos who wanted high scoring, like I would be intimidated right now as an Iowa fan if we gave up points. Yeah. And if we scored points. Give us this rug rat. Get in the mud. We're getting after you. And it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, like if you were expecting anything else, then you haven't watched Iowa versus Wisconsin ever. Mm-hmm. You haven't watched either of the 2 teams play football because it was just a bloodbath, like Forrester said. And we came out with a dub, man. Big. That's big.
And it was a mastercraft by Kirk Ferentz to just notice we're going to pin you. Punt, pin, stop. It was just beautiful football all around. Castro was a menace. Higgins was a menace. It was great watching Wisconsin fans funnel out of Camp Randall with about 5 minutes on the clock. Yeah. It was great. Shout out Tory for the tickets, but we were sitting in the parents section, and it was great watching a sea of red funnel out below us as some of the parents got to yell. They were yelling, "Where are you guys going?"
Good, dude. You know what's funny is we talked about this with Tory. It used to drive me absolutely insane watching our punt unit continually go out there. And now we're 6-1. You think about it. You think about it in a strategy way, like in a strategy type of mindset. Yeah, our offense can't. They're not Oregon. They're not Washington. They're not scoring 50 points a game. Our whole strategy in our team to win is if we can't run the ball, we're screwed. If we can run the ball, we can open the pass game a little bit. Who knows? If we can't run the ball, we have to go 4 and out. Tory comes in, pins them inside the 20. The offense gets on our team. Our defense stops them. Our defense is playing out of their minds right now. They're playing awesome. We stopped them, get another 3 and out, and then we get the ball back with better ball position. They're playing this strategy game with the punt unit that I'm starting to like watching the punt unit now.
Oh,
I mean, it almost gets me. I understand why people get excited about the punt unit coming out because they're using it to our advantage. Whereas our offense isn't good, so let's throw the punt unit out there. Let's get some better field positions so we can use our offense and what we can do well and score the ball.
And then watching the defense do their work. I mean, Braylon Allen, biggest running back in the Big Ten, probably. Yeah. 4th and 1 comes, and what does Castro do? He puts his body on the line and jars the ball loose. They recovered it, but my goodness, are those boys just swarming to the football. It's a master class, and if we were to do anything but run the football in the second half, then we would have a problem with how it was coached. But that one, it was like they can't score a touchdown, and we're up by 8.
Yeah,
what was it, 9? Run the football, make them do work because the defense and punting was just out of control.
And Coop had that 4th down stop too in the first half. I mean, they look great. And let me tell you, Iowa fans, for this second half of the season, if you're expecting our offense to go to scoring 30 points a game, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to realize you have to be okay with the fact that we're going to score off breaking big runs and maybe some passes here and there. But the whole point of if we can't score, we're going to have to punt it. Defense is going to have to do something. If we stop them, it's going to be a low-scoring game. And that's probably going to happen for the rest of the season unless our passing game starts clicking a little bit, which losing Eric All is tough.
That was heartbreaking.
Exactly. A lot of tight ends.
So well.
We got to facilitate the receivers now. If we can do that, we might start scoring a little more points. But do not be pissed off when we're winning games 12-3.
You know what? I want to win ugly. I want to win uglier. We scored too many points on Saturday.
You're right. We need to score less. We need to score under 10 every game.
The game wasn't close enough because we scored too many points. I want to win uglier now. Here's what I want. I want a 3-0 ball game. Guy mops a punt. We kick a field goal to win 3-0. That's it. Walk-off field goal. Pete Duncan fashion. Right through the uprights. I want ugly, ugly, ugly.
You know what? I'll go uglier than that because this would be hilarious if we won this way. 0-0. There's a minute and a half left in the fourth quarter. They're punting to us off their own 2-yard line. Punter's heels are on the back end of the end zone. Snap the ball over his head, safety. We win 2-0.
Yes. I love this. Let's scenario off. I want another 5-4 game. We get 2 safeties because we're playing field possession. We want to kneel one in the end zone at the end of the game when we're up 5-2. Safety happens. We punt it. They can't drive on us, so we win the ball game 5-4.
I like it. I mean, to be honest with you, at this point in the season, he's seeing how I was playing. That's not out of the possibility of happening.
Nope.
There's a chance. There is a chance that we have the next 5 games, we have the ugliest wins you've ever seen because we are playing the absolute bottom of the bucket of probably college football.
We should start wearing those leather helmets that they used to wear in the early 1900s and just say, this is the kind of ball we're playing, strap up.
This is what's going on. Yeah. We should wear cups. We'll wear, people are freaking, yeah, dude, I don't know.
And if you don't like it, then go to a fan base who just doesn't make a bowl game. There's plenty in the Big Ten West, but we're here, we're winning. And guess what? Indy, we're going to have the time of our freaking lives. Pasadena, we're going to have the time of our freaking lives because we're going to the playoffs, everyone. We're going to the playoffs.
The amount of shit that's been talked about this team the whole year, yeah, may not be fun to watch. But you got to embrace it. And when you embrace it, it's way more fun to watch. Because you expect it. You have to go into expecting it's going to be a crappy game.
I think we as a fan base have turned the corner, and it's just a beautiful thing because beginning of the season, you know what? The injuries were heartbreaking, but we no longer have this expectation to put up 30 points a game, which I think is good.
It's very
because
good.
as a fan base, we have embraced the team we are. KF knew the team from week one that we were going to do this regardless. We as a fan base have rallied around it, and it's now our favorite thing on earth to watch the master craft of you can't get a first down on us, and we're not even going to score the ball to tempt you into beating us. We just have to be better on defense. And Jay Higgins said it in his press conference, also number 2 tackler in the country right now, but he said we embrace the role of putting the weight of the game on our shoulders. We want it to be on the defense, and we're showing out right now, and they are.
Well, you know what's fun is everyone I know comes up to me and I'll admit it. I've been like, yeah, our offense is tough to watch. Now they come up to me and say, I don't know how you guys are 6-1. Iowa sucks. And it's like, you know what? We're 6-1, man. Like we may suck, but we're 6-1, and we're embracing the suck. Like you said, we're not that team that's going to be throwing points up on the board, and all KF is saying is try and get a first down on us. We may not be able to get that first down, but that other team needs to try and get their first down, because once they make that mistake, our defense is capitalizing and scoring, or we're getting the ball back in better field position, breaking a touchdown. We're embracing the suck, Forrester.
Hey, who else could be 11-1 this year? That's what we're going to do. We're going to go in. We're going to beat Minnesota. PJ Fleck. Caitlin Clark has more wins in Kinnick Stadium than PJ Fleck.
Yeah, that's true.
Then what we're going to do, we're going to storm Chicago, Wrigley Field, kick the shit out of Northwestern. And then Rutgers comes to Kinnick. That's a nightmare scenario for them. They don't want to travel across the country. Win. Illinois comes in. Crazy upset this week, but man, are they a terrible football team. Mike, embrace it. Your team stinks. That's a win. And then Nebraska, for all the marbles, the season's on the line at that point. Boys are going to be fired up. 11-1, we apologize to absolutely nobody.
Nobody. And you know what? When we make it to 11-1, because right now the standard is we're going 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
We're beating these fuckers. The rest of the schedule, to the common eye, is a cakewalk. And I'm not just saying that. Like, this will prove if we deserve to be in it or not.
Mm.
If we, I think we can lose one game, right?
We can lose, well, probably 2, because we'll have the tiebreaker over Wisconsin, and they have Ohio State to play.
Right. So depending on what happens there. But when we make it to Indy, we're going to tweet off this account the picture of Pete Weber, the bowler, which the caption was, "Love me or hate me, you all watched." And love or hate Iowa football, everyone's going to be watching at that point, because they'll be 11-1 in the play, or basically in the playoff. But they'll be in the Big Ten championship.
We're going to be America's sweetheart by that point. If you don't think, if we go 11-1, averaging 18 points a game, honestly, it could get lower. I want it to.
We want it to get lower.
I want us to be ranked 133rd out of 133 teams in D1 for offense, total yards, scoring, everything. I want us at the bottom, just so everyone goes into that football game against Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State saying, this one's for America, Iowa. Go win that ball game.
I want everyone to look at this team and say, how the fuck are they 11-1 first off, averaging 18 points a game in the Big Ten championship? And then I also want the other team's fans to be like, how the fuck do we just lose to these guys after we go out and score 7 points and they scored nothing in the Big Ten championship?
The Big Ten championship. For everyone watching on one of the biggest stages, I love how they do it. Big 12 championship, SEC, and then Big 10. So everyone watches all 3 of those. If we get to put on a 7-0 clinic on national television with the whole world watching,
it's going to be freaking awesome. That's going to be so sweet.
This is what you want as an Iowa fan. This is why we live, so that we can be. I think we're the biggest talk in sports radio this week.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you're looking at the rankings right now, we're ranked first off. Hey, let's go. We're number one in the Big Ten West, which not saying a lot this year, but the winner of that game does go to Indy, or the winner of that side of the bracket does go to Indy. So
we won the Big Ten West Super Bowl. We are champions of.
Yes, and here's also where it gets iffy, though. Not iffy, but it's tough. We've been in this situation before last year, where Big Ten West was shit. We had a scenario where we could make it to the Big Ten championship, and had to bank on us people losing at the end of the year. This year, we should go 11-1, like we said, and not have to worry about that situation. But at the same time, we lose one or two, which hopefully we don't. If we do, I may just never watch the game again.
You know what? Let's get into that, actually. So we have 5 games left. At home against Minnesota, at Wrigley against Northwestern, home Rutgers, home Illinois, at Nebraska. Who are you most concerned about? Let's say Wisconsin loses to Ohio State. That means we would have to lose 2 ball games the rest of the way to not win the West. Who out of those 5 teams would you be concerned about?
I think here's what I think. Let me give you a prediction of this Minnesota game quick before we get into this. I'm not concerned about Minnesota, but at the same time, Minnesota is the type of team that's going to keep this game to both sides scoring under 10 points. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be, we're going to do something in the last, I think, couple minutes of the game to win. But at the same time, I'm not worried about it. I just think PJ Fleck's not going to do shit against Coach Ferentz. It's simple. He's not prepared for this kind of game. He thinks he is, but he's not. That being said, Rutgers freaks me out. And yeah. I know we've beaten them every year, but they're the type of team that has dudes spread out on the field. You don't know where they are. They're all athletes. They're all raw. They're not developed very well, except a couple. Isaiah Pacheco came out of there. He's a beast. But they always come out swinging. There's never a game where they come out and it's like, oh, fuck, we got our asses kicked. They always come out of the gates ready to throw and roll. And I think that could be interesting. I think if we're not prepared from the first play of the game, they could open up with a quick score, and that could be a tough turnaround for us. Because I don't think when we start out 7-0, not us, it's a good thing for us. And who else is it? Rutgers. I'm not
Illinois, Northwestern, and Nebraska.
Illinois is home.
Yep. So in Iowa City, I just don't see it. They have a good pass rush. Jerzon, the guy in the middle for them.
Illinois is trash, dude.
They're terrible.
They're bad.
The thing is, the only reason they won this past week is Altmaier their quarterback had a great game. And it's like, you can't – your quarterback just – it's simple. He's not going to have a good game against Iowa. Yeah. Like, we completely – if Mordecai were in longer, we would have had a couple picks because –
100%.
Dude, he threw one DeJean side, and it looked like it was going to go for some points. It was just – he was testing the waters, and it wasn't going to go well.
Yeah. I mean, that one's – actually, you know what? Scratch that. I just went really deep into that. I think Minnesota might be tough. I'd be more worried about Minnesota than Rutgers. Mm-hmm. The game that always throws me for a loop, like Nebraska could lose every single game the rest of the year. Playing at Nebraska, last game of the year, the environment's electric. And if you can't get that crowd to shut up, meaning put up points, shut them down on defense, they're a major 12th man, and it's hard to kind of thrive in that environment, especially with those guys. Like, they're just loud. Nebraska is a blast to play at because at least every time when I was there, we came out of the win, whether it was ugly or huge, and they're passionate, man. Like, it's like playing Iowa. It's like playing at Iowa. The fans are very loyal to Nebraska. They live, breathe, die Nebraska. They know they suck. And at that point, they're probably not going to make a bowl game. And they know that the only thing left for them to do is knock someone out of doing something good. And that could knock us out of going to the Big Ten championship. But I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not that worried about any of the games. I mean, it's Big Ten football, but this side of the bracket sucks this year.
We should go 11-1. Here's the thing: if we hate being in the spotlight, we hate having attention. So, with that being said, this is the week that we have the most attention. If we mess this one up against Minnesota, I think this is the worst Minnesota team that we're ever going to play. They don't have the same run game. Mo Ibrahim last year was unbelievable against our defense, and it was like -10 that day. But their quarterback's erratic. I think we're going to have a few interceptions this week, and I just think we're way better than them. If we somehow mess this up again this year, and this is my devil's advocate side, let's say we lose Minnesota and then we have Nebraska to ruin our season and not win the West, because that will give us 2 losses. I will get a tattoo of a Nebraska logo right on my ass. If they ruin my Thanksgiving weekend 2 years in a row, it's a tattoo game for me.
Yeah, dude. And like, I'm not even putting out the scenario games. Like, I'm not even putting out the whole, like, if this happens and if this happens, we should, the way we're playing right now, we should steamroll every team left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not a question. Our defense is playing out of their minds. Our offense is still developing. We have a new quarterback right now. He's going to find ways to click with the receivers and the tight ends, young. And the running backs are going to run their asses off. The lines start to mesh better, and they're making bigger holes for those guys to make moves and make cuts to score. So, like I said, like, Minnesota kind of worries me just because it's like, this is the game we need to get over that hump. And Nebraska's going to be tough, but I'm not saying we're going to lose those games. I think we're going to win the rest of the season, like 100%. Mm-hmm. Like, my mind, I've set that we are going to go 11-1.
Now, here's the scenario. Who do you want to play the most in the Big Ten title game? We have 3 options this year.
This is where it gets interesting, because I forgot who I was talking about this. I think number 1, and I'm not saying this, I hate them, but we don't want to play Michigan. I think Michigan's playing very well right now. And they have too many weapons. They have too many weapons that can kind of throw us off our game, and it'd be tough. It'd be tough. Playing Michigan again in the Big Ten championship would be tough, and they're just a really good team this year. That being said, I don't want Michigan in it. Between Penn State and Ohio State, this is where it gets interesting, because Ohio State is just gone. They're not Ohio State they used to be.
Correct.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver I've ever seen in college football, but their quarterback's not good. Amike Ibuka is good, very good.
He's been banged up a little.
He's been banged up, and people know it's going to Marvin Harrison Jr. every time. They're just not this. They're not the same team they used to be. Penn State kicked our ass, but that was also whiteout game at Beaver Stadium, raining. It was basically everything in their favor.
I can't remember if we were recording when we were talking about this with Tory, but if there's 2 teams in the nation who will not lose when it's raining, it's Michigan and Penn State, because the guys they have in the trenches this year, if you look at all the mock drafts right now, it's just trench guys from Penn State and Michigan, and they all came back for another year trying to win it, do something for their program. Those 2 teams in bad weather are a nightmare, and we got a whiteout, pouring rain the entire time, injuries, fumbles, everything. It was a shit storm. Burn the tape. That's our only loss. If we had to see him in a dome, we see him in a dome.
You know what? That being said, and to be honest with you, I think Ohio State's the worst of the three.
I do too.
But I'd rather play Penn State again.
I don't think so. Ohio State, they just have so many athletes on the outside. They could run 4 verts and might do something with us. Like, look at last year. They had deep shots when they wanted it. It's just they have 5-star athletes. Penn State, that was kind of, I mean, I don't want to be an apologist right now, but again, it's a sloppy game, bad weather, whiteout. Converted 4 first downs or something in the first half. The refs sucked in the first half. It's like I wouldn't mind seeing them again on neutral territory.
I'm not even gonna blame it on that stuff. We didn't play well at all that game.
We legit have gotten way better. Our power rankings on Twitter, we ranked ourselves. I was number 1 on the Big Ten power rankings because Kirk Ferentz said we were playing better than week 4.
Oh, which is huge.
And Kirk, we trust.
That was our first Big Ten matchup. A lot of hype behind it. There's no excuses for how we played. We played bad. We played really bad. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those games you put it behind you. That's why I think playing Penn State would be best case scenario for us because we've played them already. It's hard to beat a team twice in the Big Ten. Doesn't matter who we're playing. And they know it's coming for us. They're probably going to try some trick stuff. And we'll know that's coming because that's what Michigan did against us my senior year. But, I mean, they still were just better than us. I don't think Penn State's better than us anymore. I would say –
I love that take. I love it. I love it.
I think the way we're playing right now, Penn State's technically better than us, but
no take backs on that.
I think, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're better than Penn State right now, but
we're better than Penn State. According to our power rankings, we're better.
Yeah, true. The way we're playing right now, I think it'd be very tough for Penn State to beat us.
I love that take.
I think we played Penn State, we beat them. And if we play Penn State in the Big Ten Championship, that's an exciting matchup because
we know that program too. We play them every year, basically.
Play them every year. We don't play Ohio State, Michigan every year. It's tough to play them. It'd be tough to play Michigan or Ohio State.
I will say this: our episode before the Penn State game, those fans are still commenting on our YouTube about it, just saying how'd it go, how'd the game go for you guys.
Penn State? What's their record right now?
They are ridiculous. They're undefeated. They play Ohio State this week, so we're rooting for Penn State. If they beat Michigan, when they play Michigan, we're going to be rooting for Penn State, and we want to see them again in Indy. This is fun.
I'm going to be a huge Penn State fan for the rest of the year.
This is fun. We get to pick who we're rooting for the West of who we want to see in Indianapolis. So I think we should all rally as a fan base. Let's put out a poll, Instagram and Twitter. Everyone go vote on it. And I think we all rally as a fan base and let the country know we're going to Indy and we're not sorry for it.
But I also will say, give us all 3 of those teams. We'll fucking beat them.
Yeah. The
way we're playing right now, we're America's sweetheart, baby. Come on. Sweet.
It's every ESPN was talking about us. Also, the crossover at Kinnick, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But ESPN was talking about us. The McAfee show, I know he's at ESPN now. And then it's every podcast, too, national podcast, just realized, oh, wait, Iowa's going to go 11-1. Look at how bad their schedule is now.
It's nuts.
It feels good, man.
It does. It feels really good.
Feels good. All right. Oh, last thing. Wisconsin fans, you're number 2 on my shit list.
Except Slattery.
Oh, Slat's the man. I ran into him. But it was so funny because I don't know what it is, but these schools who, if you need a 30 on your ACT, somehow you think you're, better than everyone. I don't know. But you just, you get random comments throughout the weekend being I was asked if we even had to study at Iowa for tests. I was like, dude, what what what's your job right now? Like who cares? Like
Yeah.
everyone, I don't know. They were just interesting fans. So lame in the stadium. It was the most underwhelming. They tried doing the stripe out, like red, white, red, white. How can you mess that up? They messed it up.
Well, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to do a stripe out when your student section doesn't show up until the third quarter.
Third quarter, they finally came in. Still was partially empty in the corner. It was pathetic. Third downs, you could hear a pin drop. Like the loudest the stadium got was the IOWA at the end of the game when we knew we locked it up.
Yeah. So
it was so funny though. One of the cheerleaders, there were four of them. They had the flag, the I, the O, the WA, and whoever was holding the W couldn't get it up. So we were missing a letter for the first half of the game. I think they fixed it for the second half, but
that's all right.
That's all right. No, I loved it. It's the effort that counts, man.
Exactly.
I love it. All right, here's our interview with Tory Taylor. He was in his prime, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. He's the freaking man.
We have currently the most famous man in America, it appears, right now, Tory Taylor. Yeah, I mean, I won't say this off camera, but you're punting pretty well.
Yeah, not too bad, man. It was well, I appreciate the introduction. T Swift first, and then myself probably at the moment, huh?
I don't know. I think it's a. I think you're the
am I on par a little better?
Yes, ranking Taylors right now in our life, I would put you number one.
Oh yeah,
maybe in the state of Iowa, and that's about it.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Taylor because his alma mater lost on Saturday, and then Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
you're also probably number one in Pat McAfee's heart too. He posts about you all the time.
Yeah, no, he's a good man, Pat. Very good man. No, it was a fun day, gentlemen. As you know, Jack, you were there. It was it's always good winning big rivalry games, and we're under no illusions. That was a big game. It was kind of one of those games where had we lost, it was probably going to make things a lot more difficult in terms of clinching the division. Not to say that it's won or anything like that, but the way I see it, I guess championships they're not won in October, but they can certainly be lost. So yeah, it was a big game to win.
Did you just come up with that, or is that someone said that?
No, I literally just came up with that.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good.
Not really.
I will say, I mean, we have 4 rivalry games. That one, all emotions aside, is the most important game. And a humongous win.
We declared that the Big Ten West Super Bowl last week, so it's a good Super Bowl.
I'll leave that up for you guys. Oh, you guys can talk about that stuff. I'll stay away, but it was a big win, and we needed it.
Yeah, definitely.
That was sweet. Hey, do you ever talk shit to the returners? That guy, for some reason, was like, "Oh, he won't hit it over my head again," and then would have to run back 10 yards to catch the punt.
Yeah, so I do notice that with a lot of returners, and it's kind of just like, all right, dude, like good luck with this one. You know what I mean? And it was funny, the one that he muffed. I was saying to a few of the guys after the game, I actually hit the ball, and I knew it was literally just perfect. I was like, oh, good luck with that one. Because I don't want to get into too much detail and be too much of a nerd. But I don't really like tight spirals. It looks pretty, but it comes down really quick.
It's easier.
Whereas one with a little bit of flutter stays in the air for longer, and it's harder to judge, as Coop just said. So yeah, that one that he marked, I kind of knew that he was going to have a little trouble fielding that ball. And it was a big hang time ball as well. So, but yeah, it was a fun day, gentlemen.
Was DK the returner, right? Chimray DK.
Yeah, he was a good.
He went to
he was really good.
One of my rival high schools, and I think it was a year when he was good, he was a year below before. He was there after I graduated, but yeah, he kind of came out in high school, and then he's a beast now.
Yeah,
Did he
he's very good.
I forgot that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he recovered it.
Damn it. Okay.
I know. Yeah.
That would have been the only first and goal play ran if we got that football down there.
Pretty much, yeah. You're probably right.
There weren't any because LaShawn was
You reckon we
82
would have
yards.
scored?
Oh yeah, we would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, QB sneaked it 4 times.
Dude, yeah, we gotta get big Deeks some QB sneaks.
I know we do.
Speaking of that big stat flying around is how the Mizzou punter had 38 yards of passing yards. Like I want to see you at least throw the football. I don't care if it's in game, but you know how running it goes.
Yeah. Remind me to tell you boys a story off air because I'd probably get in a little bit of trouble. I know this is like a speak free zone, but
it's a speak free zone to an extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent. But I like to have a few jokes with a few of the players, but I don't want to offend them by announcing it publicly. But
don't just get off it.
Yeah, I was certainly happy for Big Deeks. You know, going back to where he first started, you kind of tell it was a big game for him, and he was one of the first guys I went over to try and find after I saw Coach Woods, just to try and congratulate him and things like that. Yeah, you didn't have a massive game or anything like that, but he's undefeated and he's doing what he needs to do. And Le'Shawn Williams was awesome. You know,
he's
he runs.
Yeah,
he runs hard. Yeah, and big Jazz Patterson, he didn't play on the weekend, but he runs hard too. So
yeah,
we got a couple of guys in that room that run pretty well. So it'd be kind of good to have Jazz back whenever that is. I'm not even just saying this. I actually don't know when he is back, but we'll wait and see.
I think KF said this weekend he's going to give it a go. He got in for a carry on Saturday.
Did he?
Only one.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't even notice, dude.
Well, here's a question for you. This is kind of the elephant in the room. How is the emotions in the sideline after Eric?
Dude, it was pretty flattering. You know, he's because I don't know whether I've said it before. He's one of my favorite teammates I've ever met. You know, like we golfed a bit over the summer and things like that. But he's just a great dude and a great leader. And the way he leads is, he's not one of those guys that, hey, like, what are you effing doing that for? He's one of those guys that says, hey, like, I've seen you do better than that.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those guys that you'll love to play with. So it was heartbreaking to see him go down with that injury on the weekend. But, you know, like, that's football and there's really not much you can do about it. And he's been in great spirits as well, which is, still a positive. It's funny, like, what I said, I was like, you're good, man. He's like, yeah. He's like, you know, they could have snapped my leg in half and they're not going to get to my heart ever or something like that. I was like, damn, I love that. I was awesome. Like, let's go, Big E. But yeah, really, really sad. And obviously it doesn't help losing a good player, but yeah, good person like him as well. It doesn't make things easy, especially with Luke being injured as well.
Yeah, that's tough. You know what was good to see though is, I mean, obviously it's a huge impact, but I mean the team's reaction to that kind of adversity was great. Like everyone played great, stayed in it. It wasn't like, oh shit, this is over.
Well, you know, like you were there a couple of years ago, Coop. It was one of those games. This is going to sound really bad, but it was as if like we kind of went in there a couple of years ago and it was just a weird feeling, you know? It was a really, really strange feeling. You kind of knew from the get-go, like, oh shit, we're not going to win this game. Like it was, what was it, like 20-0 halfway through the second quarter, and you're like, well, there's a long way to come back from this. But when Le'Shawn went for that big run, it was kind of like, all right, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? That's when there was always a lot of belief from the guys, because we know we've got a good team and we always find a way to win. But when Le'Shawn kind of had that run, because you're kind of so locked in on the game, you try not to like think about like end results and things like that. But when Le'Shawn had that massive run and scored the touchdown, I was like, okay, like we've got the lead, let's keep it. And we never flinch whatsoever after that. Let up a couple of field goals, but Yeah, just a overall great team. Probably one of the better wins I've been a part of.
Yeah. I mean, that was a gritty. That is a Iowa win over Wisconsin. Like that's exactly what you picture.
15-6, and for them not to score a touchdown was pretty impressive as well.
Honestly, obviously you were a huge part of that. Do you, like at halftime you could kind of feel it shift after LaShawn took it to the house?
Yeah.
And then we go in a half with a lead. Do the coaches come up to you and be like, "Hey, they aren't going to score a touchdown if you pin them. Like, that's our
God no.
now."
Oh, hell no. Like, it's one of those things, like, I always say to Luke, I'm like, dude, like, how we play is really going to dictate the result of this game. So, like, you know what, we're playing well, so, like, let's just keep it going. And I think one thing that really annoys me, right, is like winning the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week. Like, everyone else deserves that just as much as me. Like, yeah, I'm the one punting the ball, but like Luke Elkin is so fucking good at snapping and running down and causing like fair catches or making the returner have to go east and west. And a lot of that stuff is overlooked a lot of the time. So I always just kind of say to Luke, like, hey, like, dude, like, let's just keep doing our thing, because I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but what we do, the way we play, is going to go a long way to helping them. So let's just keep doing our thing. And yeah, Luke's a hell of a long snapper, great dude as well. So I was just really proud of everyone on the team in general, really, because not many guys gave us a chance going in there. So yeah, it was just a great day and night.
You know what's interesting is how, like, no one really understands it, but like, except people who root for Iowa, like, on how much we value special teams. Because you look at every other team in the country, when the punt team comes on, moral goes low, like or the morale goes low, and everyone's like, fuck, we didn't do anything. Then they punt it and like, oh well, our defense do something. It literally is like, if we can't do anything on offense, we're banking on you to put it inside the 20 so we can get a quick 3 and out from our defense or a turnover and get better field position than we had before. Like, it's actually crazy in how much we value special teams and use it to our advantage compared to other teams. It's
for sure.
That's why it's like, so everyone's like, why is everyone cheering for the punter? It's like, because it actually is a big deal, because we need him to do well in order for us to win, because that's just how our team operates.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny you say that, because like I never really feel like any sense of pressure whatsoever. And I just, dude, I mean, Coop knows this, like, I love like the guys on the team, right? So if I can, like, my biggest fear is like letting my teammates down, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like when you're playing football, you kind of just like in this weird frame of mind where it's like, well, I don't want to let myself down, but I know I'm not really going to let myself down because I've tried my hardest. And you know, you're not really going to let your teammates down. But at the same time, whenever I go out there, I'm just thinking like, all right, how can I help the team the most here? And a lot of the time that's just by either like pinning them deep or booming one high and far. And I think there is a little bit of excitement when the punt unit goes out there, because you know we're kind of going to go out there and something's going to happen. So it always makes things a little easier going out there knowing everyone's kind of got your back too.
Well, even like at the stadium, like, I've been to away games, I've been to other games where it's not an Iowa game, and even if the punter bombs one, no one really reacts to it. Whereas like our stadium, like if you hit a good punt, it's like we just had a big play on offense or defense. Like, it's the same.
Yeah, dude. And you know what was funny? Like when we were playing at Wisconsin, what I was loving the most was I could tell they were getting annoyed. Like there was a few like noises in the stadium that like when I was bombing one, they're like, damn it, not again. But and I'd kind of just like love that, because you know you're just pissing people off. But
we'll talk about this in the pre-show today, but it was so funny because in the stadium the fans never got that loud for Wisconsin. Like, we took them out of it right away.
Yes.
The loudest they got was when their punt returner would have to run 10 yards back. You'd just hear, oh.
Yeah. That's when I was just like,
It was like an oh shit moment for them.
Yeah. No, it was, dude. It was. But, like, dude, like I said before, you know, guys on the punt unit, right, what I love the most is they just want to be out there, you know, because you know we're going to make a play.
I think what's so cool.
at other schools, it's not really like that. It's like, oh man, I don't want to be on punt. Whereas here, I feel like guys go out there, and I'm always like really grateful for them too. And we always just try to have fun, you know.
What's so cool about that punt unit too is it's like the guys making plays are big names on defense too, which I feel like you don't see that often on in other programs. Like DeJean had a few tackles, Deontay Craig. Some guy saw him coming in hot, and he just ran out of bounds. It was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah,
One where he had open field, but it's like, and then Elkin, the long snapper, he's in every single time down there.
Dude, Elkin's
Yeah.
Elkin's
He's
incredible.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's really fast.
he's always been
Really
good.
fast.
He's always really good.
I think
Yeah.
our next battle that we need to have with awards is we have to get your Ray guy, and then Elkin needs his Patrick Manley award.
I totally agree, man. Like, I totally agree. And yeah, whatever award that anyone wins in the specialist room, it's certainly divided evenly amongst the group. Even like the backups, man, like Buddy and Ty and Marshall, like they work just as hard as anyone in terms of like reps throughout the week and pushing us, and really just those words of encouragement. And that's one thing. It's interesting. Carmen comes and talks to us every Wednesday, and Carmen's a sports psych, by the way, Jack. And I kind of said like how important Ryan Gasonde was when he was here for those first 2 years, because he always just had a really nice way to deliver a message, whether it was a good punt or a bad punt. So I was always really grateful for Ryan. So that was kind of one thing I said to Tyler, hey, like sometimes you just kind of need that feedback. They're almost like the wingman, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
You know, like in Top Gun, where whatever his name is has the wingman. That's kind of what they are. Like
Goose baby.
if that means, yeah, goose. I need my goose.
Is that your American accent?
No,
I need my goose. The motherfucking great goose, baby. Is that what you're drinking right now? Jeez, dude, it's a Tuesday.
shut up, keep it's water. Nice, 100% recycled bottled Dasani.
The worst water in the biz, and we have
Nah, that's the
Cheers.
best.
No,
Ice
it's
Mountain, Ice Mountain's the worst water.
Well, then that's number 2, then, dude. How about Aquafina? Aquafina's solid.
Yeah, Aquafina good. Aquafina tastes the same as Dasani.
Yeah, but it's not as bad for you. Trust me, I know. Me and Tory both know how bad it is because we have to. Actually, I don't know if you ever chugged it. I used to have like 9 of those on Sundays in a 2-hour pan.
We talked about this before, but the big thing floating around right now on Twitter is some Iowa fans like saying they don't want to go to Indy. You know what? Screw you. I want that. Just go be Nebraska fans
Why?
where you don't have to watch
I'll
your
tell you
team win a
why.
bowl game.
Because people are saying, oh, if we go to Indy, it's be embarrassing and how bad we get our asses kicked. That's a horrible mentality to have.
That's a terrible. And who cares?
You know how awesome it is to say, yeah, we went 11-1 and went to Indy. Like
Yeah.
people see the stats, you'd be like, oh, you're the worst offense in America. Well, guess what? We made it.
Yeah.
You have to hate fun because if we lose in the next 5 games, I'm gonna just be upset, maybe cry a little bit, but
That'd be tough.
Indy's a blast, man.
Dude, it's so good, and I love punting in a dome, man. So fun.
Oh,
And like everyone who was born there is like the coolest person of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyrone, me.
you were
Johnny-
born in Indy?
I was born in Indy, baby.
Jay Higg.
Jay Higg.
Yes,
You know,
Mr. Higgins, the man. He was on TV. Tory, I gotta send you the video of that from our seats when we were on TV.
Yeah, please do. That'll be funny.
Yeah, shout out to Tory, nicest guy on earth.
Of course, boys. Had to look after you. Absolutely.
Yeah, next time we'll be there. We'll bring some roses for you or something to the bus.
Yeah, please do.
how many
Got
weeks
you.
we got to that Northwestern game?
That'll be
Yeah.
in
This, a
2.5.
bye, and then Northwestern. So you got to book your flight. Oh, yeah, that week we'll see you at the bus. We'll wait that weekend.
Yeah, you better.
Just stay in Chicago.
Yeah, you guys
I
should be able to
wish, man.
sneak away.
Are you guys gonna go in on the Friday?
Come on, dude.
Oh, I'm here.
Stop
Yeah,
by the
right.
hotel, would you?
What'd you say?
You should stop by the hotel
Yeah, we'll
wherever
sneak.
we are.
Maybe we'll ask KF if we can fire the team up.
Yeah, g'day guys. We got the men and Melrose boys here.
Come on, boys. Let's go. You could hear a pin drop in that room if we did that.
We
So
get
funny.
booed out of there.
Dude,
Yeah.
it'd only be me and Nico that really understand.
Yeah, that'd be weird. So,
That'd be enjoyable though.
who do you guys get? Yeah,
No
Minnesota.
one.
Yeah, we got Minnesota, the bye, Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, and Nebraska. My dad's coming up for Illinois and Nebraska, so that'll be fun.
Oh, let's go.
Right on.
Yeah, he's bringing a couple of his mates as well, so it'll be interesting taking them out after the game, but I'm looking forward to it.
You're bringing them out? That's gonna be a blast.
Oh
dude.
god, yeah, they're gonna love it.
What route are you taking? Just strictly brothers?
Oh, straight to brothers.
But here's the fun part, and I'm not trying to foreshadow anything, but if you guys make it to Indy, that Nebraska week, after that game will be a riot. Like you guys will all go. You have to go out because you're gonna get back
Friday game. It'll be an absolute bender.
and you're gonna get back at like what 10?
No, dude, the
Friday?
game's at 11.
Yeah, but it's a 4-hour game. How far is the flight?
40 minutes.
Fuck. Maybe you're right. Oh yeah, you'll be right. Like 7.
But dude, you know what I always think about is like if we won, imagine like winning the Big Ten championship. Could you like imagine? Like I would probably say to them, I'm not coming in for 4 days.
Oh, no shot.
I think you guys are fine. I don't think anyone would come in for 4 days.
Yeah, like it would just be an absolute bender.
I think I'll drink until our playoff game if that happens.
If you guys win the Big Ten championship, I would show up to the bowl game in a Speedo.
Okay, there you go.
The Rose Bowl is a playoff game this year. We will go when we make it, and
That would be fucking awesome, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Oh, that's
yeah, Minnesota this week, boys. Let's worry about that.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's so funny though? All these coaches, I don't know what you pay attention to, Tory, but all these coaches like PJ Fleck and Matt Rule both were in their press conferences just giving the highest praise to Iowa. They're like, they just know what they're gonna do and they do it the best out of anyone that we know.
Really?
And we know
Yeah, I don't have Twitter, so I don't see anything. So I really don't know.
Oh, it's fantastic. Also, there's Tory Taylor for Heisman shirts going around. I kind of want to get one of those.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few left, I'd say.
we got a new shipment coming in for hats that we got to send to you.
I've got a hat. I
know we have a new hat that's coming out.
Oh, like a new design?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do like a bucket hat?
Oh,
bucket hat with like the drawstring would be sick.
Oh,
fuck.
No. Maybe we'll do that for summer. We should do like a beanie.
Yeah, do that for summer.
We should do a beanie.
Yeah.
Do a beanie.
I like stuff all the time.
A beanie that says M, it just says mom with a rose in the middle of it.
It's a good idea.
Oh,
I love mom.
Yeah.
That's sick, actually.
Dude, we got to have a Mother's Day collection this year.
I love moms.
Yep.
When is Mother's Day? In America.
May. I don't know.
I didn't tell you this. Tori, I think this is funny. So Lucas and then my other buddy, Riley, we're going to try and prank us. Forrest, I didn't tell you this yet. My friend convinced me that he trademarked the name Melrose. And that we were going to have to buy it back from him for $500. But then
Oh,
he
dear.
actually didn't do it, but he could if he wanted to. So we probably need to trademark that.
I believe we have the legal papers already, my boy.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there you go. Sorted already.
Yeah, don't you worry.
Oh, dear.
They would have gotten us, man.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Do you guys bus to Madison or fly?
Bus.
You
It's
gotta-
only 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we got back at 11 o'clock. It was perfect timing.
Oh, and just
Only one.
shipped it straight
Yeah,
there.
there's only one place everyone was going.
Dude, it was the crowd on Saturday was hilarious because they actually have terrible fans. I couldn't
Dude,
believe
I said that last week to a lot of people. I'm like, it's the most overrated place in college football, I
by
reckon.
far
How bad is that student section?
the worst.
It's just lame. Like, it's not loud.
Shows up.
It's too open.
Also, I didn't think they were gonna do jump around. They were playing like some.
Yeah, they're playing something else for a while, and I'm like, what's going on?
I think you were out there to punt right when it was going on, and it was like maybe they aren't gonna do it, and then
Yeah,
they
I
played
don't
it
know.
for 10 seconds and put it on TV, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
it really
the
should be only
announcer-
one of those things you should do if you're winning, I reckon.
The announcers had a big time crush on you. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
really? Yeah, that's what I've heard.
freaking out. They were always like, another booming kick.
Oh, I
Oh,
love it.
wow, Tory Taylor.
That's good.
And another one
It's
for
good.
20.
Lovely.
Also, we had to ask you about this. So clearly, you've said it on our show, so we could read between the lines in your press conference. I think Saturday might have been the most emotion I've ever seen out of you. From when you guys had the trophy, you had an emphatic fist pump, and then
Yeah, dude. I just love winning, man. Anyway, go on.
And then in the press conference, you got into like winning a little bit, and then you go, I was watching a couple SEC games, 85-degree weather, and not a breath of wind, and then proceeded to basically say they're a bunch of soft pussies.
No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying that, you find out your true potential when you're playing in the Big Ten, and I think you've seen that the last couple of years. Like, the first punters off the board have been from the Big Ten. So if you can kind of show that you can perform up here, it goes a long way. But that's not to say, one of the better punters in college football right now, James Burnham at Alabama, he's performing out of his mind. Like, he's doing really, really well. So there's guys down there performing, but I just question whether they would be able to do it if it was 45 degrees, rainy and windy.
And that's the question to be answered. And the answer is they can't because
They can't.
SEC sucks. Big Ten rocks. Not even a question. Tory, you're right. We're not going to take the word out of your mouth. You didn't say that, but the SEC sucks. Punters get, coddled? Is that what the word Jack Campbell used about the tight end, right?
Yeah, coddled.
Punters get coddled because they have such beautiful weather. You are going through the worst winters ever, and you're still kicking ass.
Also,
dude, it's kind of weird though. Like, every game this year, it's been so fucking windy. It's so annoying. Like, I don't mind if it's like raining, but like when it's windy, it's just annoying. Like, it's just so annoying. But what can you do?
you at least were punting with the wind a bunch on Saturday.
Dude, I wasn't right, because, for example, like down the student section, right, I had a couple of backed up punts. The first like 30 yards of the punt are into wind. But then once you get to like the middle of the field, it's downwind because it like swells and it'll like go a little bit and then it bounces back. Like, it'll hit the stands and bounce back. So it's always like swirling around a bit. Like last week at home when we played Purdue, if you were punting towards the north end zone, right, if you were kicking into the right corner, it was into wind. But if you were kicking to the left corner, it was downwind.
Wow.
Like, I'm not joking. It was bizarre. Like, I'm trying to figure this out with Coach Woods, and he's like, yeah, that's because it bounces off here and it bounces off there, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever.
It's a whirlwind down there.
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
Oh, he is. He walks around with these, like, little soft, like, tape that, like, blows in the wind. He, like, walks up and down the hashes a few times. But, dude, like, so appreciative. Like, he helps me so much with the wind, just in terms of, like, what shots I want to hit at different parts of the field, different parts of the hash, and things like that.
Yeah, I did see. Camp Randall also maybe has the biggest hump in the field for the middle part.
Yeah,
I
it's like a
noticed
big
that.
crown. Yeah,
Turf, Tory, I don't know if they redid it. How was the turf?
it was good. It was quite soft, actually, surprisingly.
That was weird.
Yeah,
That's good because that turf used to. It felt like a literal carpet. Like it was
yeah.
horrible.
No, it was fun. There was a little bit of like moisture though because it rained a little bit in the warm up, and it had been raining during the day. Like, dude, I opened the curtain in the morning of my room, and I was just like, "Oh no,
There's nothing. That is the worst feeling.
dude,
You wake
nothing will be as bad as
Please,
Purdue
God,
last year,
just
though."
whoosh, and you're like, fuck.
Dude,
This
I
is-
opened the curtain last year at Purdue at like 8 a.m. and it's like pitch black. Like it's not pitch black, but it's still like dark and gloomy at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like trees are literally like sideways and it's pouring down rain. And I'm like, man, like, is this really legal? Like, do I have to go and play in this?
I went to that game last year. Purdue canceled. They banned tailgating.
Yeah,
that day.
yeah. It was
It's
that bad,
so
man. It was
bad.
crazy. Like, for a bit of context to the millions of listeners, I was kicking them from end zone to end zone. Like, I was standing in my own end zone,
Yeah.
kicking them to the other end zone.
You have the
Let's
golden
go.
boot, man.
And then went around the other way and was kicking them about 20 yards.
How
'cause
fun was jump
'cause-
around?
Oh, dude, it was all right. I mean, I wasn't like, when it's like the third quarter, whenever it's like a quarter time break, I'm always out there like trying to stay warm or getting
Well,
snaps with Luke, so I didn't really notice.
the locker room after it looked like you were dancing.
Dude, it was kind of annoying because like we had like obviously everyone kind of went crazy, but then like one of the media guys come and said, "Hey, like, can you come do media?" So then I had to go do the press conference and then do the radio. So I kind of like missed out on a couple of like things, but yeah, it was funny when I was doing the press conference. Literally, as I started, they started playing like jump around in the locker room, and I was like, "Oh no, like I'm missing out."
You should have been like, I appreciate the question, but I got to go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a good game. Yeah, fun. Beat Wisconsin. Thanks, guys.
Big time.
You could hear it in the background during your press conference.
Yeah,
With
I'm
Torts
sure.
right next to it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Man, it was fun though. Those games, there's nothing better than winning away.
Yeah, electric.
Like, Coop, what
No.
about Nebraska 21? Like, that was just crazy, man.
Unbelievable. I mean, half the
Yeah.
team was on IVs, and then
Yeah,
after the game, you would have thought no one was sick.
yeah,
It was insane.
yeah. That was the flu game. It was
That was the flu game.
yeah. That was a rough few days. I remember I rocked up to the Monday lift, and Coach Ray's like, "You're all right?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Just like go home." I said, "No, no, like I'm good. I'll survive." He's like, "No, like please go home." And then he's like, "Make sure you report back to the trainers that night." And then yeah, there was about I reckon 20 or 30 of us with the flu that game.
Dude, it was like I remember that practice. There was one. I think Monday practice was like 50 people out of the 100 people on the team.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Insane. But yeah,
yeah,
winning away is fun. I never got to experience winning at Wisconsin, which freaking sucks.
yeah.
But
It's
I
because
mean,
you muffed the punt and cost us the game, Coop.
Hey,
Kidding.
we celebrating that locker room is sick. Might have been sicker than that. No, it wasn't. But it was. Yeah, I'm jealous. That's a blast, dude. That's a great place
Yeah,
to run away.
yeah. No, for sure. It was a fun day and night in general, really.
Yeah, fuck them. I can't stand those guys. So awesome.
I agree, Coop. I agree.
All right. Well, Tory, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, boys. It's always a pleasure. We'll do this again soon for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're like our Aaron Rodgers for the Pat McAfee show.
Oh well, yeah. Tory Tuesdays. Maybe that's what we should do.
Tuesdays.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Recap the week.
Yeah.
Preview the coming game. Well, you boys just let me know.
Hey, we will. You know we will.
It was a pleasure. All
Always
right,
is, boys. I appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Go
sir.
beat Minnesota. We'll see you in a couple weeks, Northwestern, and then we'll see you again in Indy.
Yep.
All right. Look forward to it, boys.
Go sink
for
that
sure.
boat, baby.
Yes, sir.